In an earlier video, we mentioned Vue Js can control either all or part of a user interface. To get some experience of Vue Js, we are now going to take a simple HTML site, which is a personal site, and apply some Vue Js to create a blog section. So we can jump into Vue Js. The starter project is available to download from the GitHub repository. To find this, you'll need to head over to this link, which is github.com/chrisdixon161/Vue free course. You can also find this as a pinned repository from my profile. So once you head into this section, we're going to have all of the code which you need for this course. Currently, we just have the portfolio starter, but your version will have all of the sample code which is needed for other projects, along with also the final code for each video, so we can compare if you get stuck. What you'll need to do is to download all of this repository. So if you go into the code section, you can download this as a zip file. Let's open this. And then from here, we can extract all of the information which we need. So let's just place this on the desktop and open this up. From here, we have the portfolio starter, which is just the basic HTML and CSS, which we're going to use to test out how Vue works on a simple project. So what you'll need to do is to rename this. I'm just going to keep this as the portfolio, and then keep this separate from the rest of the code. Open this up in Visual Studio Code or your editor of choice. And then inside of here, all we'll see is an index page, which is just some regular HTML. We have our head section with a link to a font, with a link to a provided style sheet. We have a basic header section, which has a title and then some navigation links. And then we have this blog section. This blog section just has two static HTML articles, and we're going to make these dynamic with Vue Js. The important thing now is down at the bottom. Here we have a script which is a link to the Vue CDN. So this is a link to the Vue core library, which we're going to use to explore some of the Vue features. This means we don't need to do anything special, such as downloading the packages. All we're doing here is directly linking to Vue Js, and then we can include some of the features in our project. Okay, so to begin with Vue Js, we're going to create a new file, which is going to be a JavaScript file, and I'm going to call this the script.js. We can link this just like any regular script down at the bottom of our HTML, and we add the source attribute, which is going to link to the script.js. We can also open this index page up in the browser. We can double click on the index.html file inside of our project, or if using Visual Studio Code, we can right click on this tab and then copy the path. Paste this in, and this is the starter project, which is just HTML. We're going to begin by converting these HTML sections to be controlled by Vue Js. Okay, so to do this, we'll head over to the script file, and the first thing we need to do is to create a new Vue instance. We'll do this with Vue, capital V, and then use a function called createApp. We have access to Vue.createApp since we're using the CDN link down at the bottom of our index page. In the upcoming videos, we'll also pass a options object to this instance too. But for now, we need to mount this Vue application to our index page. So to do this, we need to tell Vue exactly where we want to mount to. We could control the full HTML page if we wanted to, or we can mount to just a certain part if we wanted. For example, this Vue instance is going to control our blog section, which is the wrapper for all of our articles. We have this section with the ID of blog. So we're going to make use of this and tell Vue Js that this section is the part of the HTML which we want to control. This has the ID of blog, so all we need to do is to go over to createApp, and then we call the mount method, where we're going to pass in the element which we want to link to. This is just like regular CSS selectors, so if this is an ID, we use the hash, we use the dot if it's a class, or we can directly target any of our elements by the name. So we could target the section, but we want to target the blog. Although here we are targeting a section element, it doesn't matter what type of element we mount to. It could be the body section, it could be a div, anything is completely fine. We could also create multiple Vue instances too, so if we duplicated this, we could again call vue.createApp, but this time we could mount to a different section. So for example, if we wanted to have this Vue instance to control the blog, and then we wanted to also control the header section, all we need to do is to pass in our different selector, and let's go for the header element, which is the header section which contains our level 1 heading alongside our nav links. We can also change this title to be our name, and also the same for the page title too. This means we have now created two separate Vue applications which are completely independent and can have their own data, as we'll see in the next video.